Right, I have decided to start this last level again, just to sort of I enjoyed this puzzle, and this puzzle should have been more of the game. Unfortunately, the game was too much picking up blocks and moving them, and just kind of like, I don't know, the puzzles felt linear for some reason, if that makes sense. Like, all you had to do was go through the puzzle, figure out the pieces, and then once you had all the pieces, the puzzle was clear.
Your survival
I'll
is
let
of
this guy
small
talk.
importance compared with the survival of humanity as we know it.
Oh, he doesn't talk long. But yeah, so most of the game is basically just pick up blocks and go a linear thing. What I liked about this puzzle is that it's an open room, so it's not linear, and it's therefore, it's got lots of red herrings. It was quite good. What I did, what stumped me for so long is that I took this initially, and I think my sound must have been turned down, so I didn't realise that that was a conveyor belt. Like, I just assumed that was, like, I saw that there was something in the middle, and I didn't realise it was powering something. I just thought it was a holder for this, and therefore thought this belongs here, because this does something, you know? Like, that was for me the first red herring, in that you take, because there are lots of what do you call them, slots that you take orbs from, that don't do anything. So I just assumed that was one of them. I thought that was just I get the orb from here and I use it in here. So that's a red herring, because you do not need this. This, however, does probably show you, because the switch is initially flipped up here, it shows you that powers the magnet. So I guess everything's set up this way to show you that it's a red herring, but I guess you need to flip the switch. And that was a bit of a, I don't know. Like, the thing is, the reason it took me so long to figure the puzzle is because I knew the magnet wasn't used for anything other than just this switch. Obviously, if I go on the switch, so this is set up as well, that you go through the door. I think this was the very first thing I did, just to explore the level. Go through the door. Oh, well, if the magnet's there, that doesn't work. I need to switch the magnet off. Hold on. So obviously the first thing I did was not switch on the magnet and do all that. The first thing I did was actually explore before doing anything, touching anything. And to do so, you need to go here, go through the door, go through here, and stand on this. And then I can go through there. And this basically allowed me to figure out, so all I need to do, that's the exit down there that is powered by this cable. I need to bring the robot here and press that. Like, I knew that. That was like, that's what I like about this puzzle. It's an obvious goal. The puzzle, to do that is really easy with a human, to get here, but then you're like, I need to do this with a robot. So, yeah, and then I think I must have taken that from there, without realising it was powering the conveyor belt. Then I must have jumped down, then I did that, figured out that powered the magnet, then I moved the magnet. What do you need to do? And obviously this block was lying there too. What did I try? I tried blocking, I tried just dropping that there. Again, not knowing it was a conveyor belt, I was like, what does this do? And then there's this as well, which is like a timer, I guess? What's it called? A reservoir. So even when that's on, for example, even when that's on, it takes time to fill up that. So I knew that. But again, I feel like that's a bit of a red herring. It's maybe there just to give you a bit more time to do the puzzle itself. But I felt like that was, like, in my head, I knew that if I... What did I then try? Oh, can I pick up both things with a magnet? I can. That's not something I actually tried. Yeah, basically what I thought I knew was, I'm just going to set this up so that it is solvable. What I thought was that if I have that on, and then all I need to do, I thought this was like the reservoir if the reservoir could be inverted somehow, so that when I turn the power off, I then have time before that drops, and then I could switch over to the robot and then get through the doors. Because obviously, if I have time before that drops, then I can just run through this door. When that drops, the door closes, and then I'm through. But like, I couldn't figure that out for some reason. I thought it was maybe an inversion thing. Again, still hadn't figured out this was a conveyor belt. So, and then there's this as well. I think I tried putting the robot right to the door, and then changing to that, and then trying to like move over to the robot, but you cannot get the angle, and the robot doesn't come, like you can't push the robot through the door. So that's a red herring. Like, I thought that was maybe integral to the puzzle. Like, if there was one there, then I would be able to do that, because once that door was open, I'd be able to just, I'd be able to just do it with the human. So I could stand on that switch while the robot's in there, and then I could switch over to something there, and then they could switch through the door, and it was a perspective thing. Again, like most of the puzzles in this game, that's all it really took. This area as well stumped me. This is like also, just this area up here is a red herring in itself, because there's a ladder to get up here, but this is useless to actually solve the puzzle. But it does have like angles to get to stuff like that, and it's got angles to get to stuff like that. So obviously a part of me was thinking, could I get the robot up here instead of up there? Because the robot could, switch that from over here. So in essence, this whole area up here is a red herring, because again, I was just trying to solve different solutions, and it was like, I don't know. I think there was one time I tried to put the robot on the magnet, bring it over there, and see if I could get the angle, but that's obviously blocked off with glass. So I couldn't do that. Like, I didn't think that would work, but I tried it anyway. And eventually when I did get the puzzle, I think I had the block down there, so it was blocking that. And then I think I was wanting to give the orb to the robot. So I was like, oh, how do I give the orb to the robot? I'll just pop it in there, and then I'll switch to the robot. And then I was like, wait, that thing down there is moving. Why is the magnet back on? And I was just so like, yeah, because I think the robot was on the switch at the time. The robot went up, it went down, and I was just like, wait, how did that happen? And then that made it click that when I switched to the robot, so that block down there was going around the conveyor belt, and I was like, oh, there's a conveyor belt there. And then even then, that didn't solve the puzzle instantly for me, because I was then using that block to stop that. But then I was like, but I need to go into the robot to go through the doors. Like, that's allowing the door opening, door closing sequence. I need to be in the robot. So I did actually think the solution was pretty cool, in that you have to use the human to be the blocker. So I go in here, the human goes round, the door is open, and like I said, I think that like reservoir just gives me the time to be able to do that. So that's all that was necessary, just the magnet over there. That drops on the thing. The door has a sequence. I'm using the human. But yeah, I think in my head, when I solved this, I was like, I would love if there were more puzzles like this in the game. But then I kind of thought, if there were more puzzles like this in the game, then this solution would be too obvious, and this puzzle wouldn't be as meaningful, Like, to actually use the human as the object to solve the puzzle. I don't think is ever done in the game until this point. So yeah, I thought that was cool. And now, as the robot, I can escape into the free world and destroy the humans. But I can't. I was a wee bit annoyed that wasn't a trophy. Like, I thought, yay, I'm free, hoping a trophy would pop. But it didn't. I guess now I can stop this and actually complete the level. Pardon me. But yeah, no, cool puzzle, lots of red herrings, simple-ish solution, thinking outside the box. Shame the rest of the game wasn't as difficult as this.